Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Kraft. My website is stephaniecraft.com. And today I want to talk about connection. Yesterday, I was lucky enough to listen to a woman talk about her near-death experience. And someone asked her a question, which was, what was the purpose of having an NDE? Why do you think it happened for you? And she said, to learn about the importance of connection. Connection with who you truly are, and connection with the truth of that, and to the oneness, the light, the wisdom of what is beyond this world, but where we go when we cross over, we have so much help and wisdom and intelligence that's guiding us. But we can tap into that while we're here. Now, not everybody knows that we can tap into that, but by listening to this woman's near-death experience and coming back with that knowing of the connection, she is teaching about that. And of course, I do the same thing because I've spent the past 13 years doing Life Between Lives hypnotherapy, bringing clients to the other side. It's similar to a near-death experience, but not usually as profound, but it's, comes close. And so I've been thinking about this theme of connection even before listening to this woman's story yesterday. I've been thinking about it for the past few months because of what is going on in our world right now. So, in the entire world, people are being asked to wear masks. And something that I've noticed when I see people wearing masks is that they become invisible to me, almost, seemingly disappearing. And I'll explain why. It's because when I cannot see a person's facial expression, then I lose connection with that person. It's like they disappear. Because I was born, with sight. That means just a normal vision, right? I'm thinking about blind people right now. Blind people have a different way of connecting. They're not relying on a person's facial expression. They have other developed abilities, such as hearing, sensing, feeling, and knowing. But for me, being born with normal vision, I rely on facial expressions for connection with people when I see them in front of me. And because I don't have that when someone is wearing a mask, I'm not connecting with that person. I have more of a tendency to look away and almost feel as if that person doesn't exist. It's a kind of diminishing of the person. I'm not doing this on purpose, but I did notice it naturally happening. And the reason is because, like I said, I can't see their facial expression, their smile. Even if I pass them on the nature path where I'm walking, I do try to make eye contact and say hi, but a lot of people are in fear, and I don't wear a mask. And so I respect these people who may not want me to open my mouth and smile at them and say hello, because they may already be guarded and not happy that they're passing a person not wearing a mask. So then there's another layer of disconnection, a further form of disconnection between us because of fear and programming. So we have a lot of layers and levels of disconnection. Everybody in the world is being told to stay 6 feet apart. That's another layer and level of more distance between us, more disconnection, spacing us out, keeping us separate, not merging our electromagnetic fields, our auras, for sensing, feeling, and knowing at levels that most people are not tuned into, yet are still there. And so we're being more deeply disconnected from one another. Places since March around the world have been shut down, and as they've reopened, have limited numbers of people, or people have chosen to remain home and not even go into places out of fear, wanting to distance, and in their minds stay safe. So with the lack of gatherings and joining together and coming together in groups or just in normal everyday life, there's more disconnection. I'm seeing a lot of videos and imagery of how they're planning to set up schools for kids with plastic barriers around desks, separating desks by 6 feet, showing video footage of children walking down halls in a single file but 6 feet apart, videos of children, one child per table eating lunch alone, with all the desks in the cafeteria scattered with just one child per table, nobody talking to each other, nobody interacting. Being placed on squares out on the playground that are, or on the blacktop, that are spaced out. And can you imagine trying to learn in a classroom where the teacher is wearing a mask and even a face shield over that? You can't hear the teacher properly, you cannot understand the articulation of the words, you cannot understand what the teacher is saying, and there's such a barrier there. You can't see the facial expression. So what are we doing to our children in the world with this deeply ingrained teaching of more disconnection and instilling fear? How is this affecting the future generations that are growing up right now in fear and disconnection? How is this affecting their psyche and their development? And how will this manifest in years to come in our society? What is this doing to people? What is isolation doing to people? What is separating people from one another doing to them? And wearing masks, can you look into other people's eyes and have a normal conversation while they're wearing a mask? I know that I can't. It's not normal for me. I don't, if I'm at the grocery store, I try to look into their eyes and say thank you and have a nice day and how are you? But it's not the same. It's almost nothing. Like it's not happening because we're not getting the full effect with the face. Now, I don't wear a mask, so when they look at me, yeah, they are able to see my natural smile, my conversation with them, but I'm not getting that from them. And so why, not why is this happening, but I just think it's important to think about that it is happening, that this that there are deep levels of disconnection that are happening when, in fact, the most important thing for humanity is connection. So how can we resolve this? And how are we going to go back to reconnecting with our fellow humans? While these mandates and rules are in effect, and as long as people are cooperating with them, we won't be getting back to that normal level of connection unless you defy the orders like I do. I mean, I don't follow them. I don't wear a mask, and I don't care about distance. So I see clients in person. I do energy healing, hypnotherapy. It doesn't matter to me that the virus for me doesn't exist. I know it's out there and it's touching certain people in their lives, but we create our own realities. And so if you're living in fear, buying into fear, believing the media, believing the government, then you are not in your power. And you are allowing something outside of you to control you. And it's very important to come back to human connection. Connection primarily first with your soul, with your inner self, your higher self, your true being, and connection with your guides, your soul family, and God, your angels. And so once you have that connection that's very solid, then you actually won't fall for the propaganda, the lies, the fear mongering. You wouldn't even fall for it. You wouldn't even participate with that. You would do what I'm doing, which is saying no. So first, get that connection strong within yourself of what is true. Having faith and trust in God and the universe that you're safe and well. Digging deeper into the truth that's out there, not in the mainstream media, not in the government, but by independent researchers who care about humanity, who want to spread the truth, who want to get to the truth, who want to talk about the truth. Find those people on YouTube or other sites where they are saying the truth. And you have to tune into yourself and find out what do you feel is true. Truth is a vibration, and it isn't fear. If there's fear associated with it, it's not true. If you're in fear, you're not in truth. If you're afraid of the virus, you are not standing in truth. You are not standing in your power. You're not in your knowing. You've lost your way. And so if you really were one and more connected with your soul and God, you wouldn't even wear a mask. You would say no to that kind of authority and tyranny outside of yourself that is inhibiting your breath, your very own life force essence of being here alive on the planet. You would reject that fully in your power. It's not hard to do. Just say, I can't, and keep walking. That's it. It's the easiest thing. You just have to build enough courage within yourself to do it. And I wasn't even going to talk about that, but I was just going to let myself be guided because I wanted to talk about connection. But how can we connect with masks on? We can't. We cannot. So in the end, yes, it does come back to that. Take it off. Take it off. What are you doing? Ask yourself why. If it's associated, if your answer is associated with fear, you are not in truth. You are disconnected from yourself. So in this talk about connection, I welcome you to come back home to yourself. And within yourself, within the truth of your pure essence of who you truly are, there is no fear. There is no fear. Let's say you do get the virus. Just take hydroxychloroquine and zinc. What's the big deal? This has like basically 100% cure rate. So there's still nothing to fear. We already have a solution. There should be no fear. If you fear the government, then be in your power and fight against it. Not fighting in a way of separation, but in a way that you are in your power and you don't give your authority away to anybody. That's all you can do. You don't have to fight against the government, but you do so by being in your power, being sovereign. And that's it. If each person does that, then there is no other outside power over you. And so we have to come back to connection with each other, with humanity, with the kids. Take the masks off the kids. They cannot breathe. They cannot speak. They cannot develop properly without human connection. Don't send them to school like that. I think it's healthier to keep them home if that's how school is going to be set up, because that's a form of torture, the way they're setting schools up. And why would you subject your child to that and put that in their psyche, in their development? That's not wise. You don't want to negatively affect your children that way. Keep them home if that's the way it is at school. At least at home, they can be free and breathe and connect with people at home inside the house with no masks on, right? And there's no distancing within the home. So I just wanted to really talk about connection today because it is vital to our well-being on planet Earth. And I would welcome you to start thinking about that connection. Just keep thinking about that as you go through your day, as you see the world happening in front of you, and how can you make it better? How can you make connection deeper within yourself and deeper with other human beings? Because we need this. This is what we need now, because we cannot let it slip away. We cannot lose our humanity. Okay, thank you. I hope you have a beautiful day.